She's so cute. Climbing a little mountain. Okay. So we're way past the mid-year freak out point. It's September last time I checked. You know, I'm not known for like being the most on time. Maybe that will change in the future, I don't know. But I really don't want to skip reflecting on my books so far this year because I feel like that's really important for you to understand who I am, what kind of reader I am, if you want to even watch my videos. And I just really want to talk about them. So today I thought it would be fun to catch you up on my reading journey so far in 2025. Highs, lows, whatever else in between that I can talk to you guys about. I'm actually going to be working on my reading journal today while I chat with you because I thought it would be fun. And Xena is chewing her Kong. She's right there. Hi. So if you hear her chewing her Kong, just mind your own business. She needs stimulation. She's been in a crate all day because Matthew did not come home from work today. He had to go to a work retreat. So just cut her some slack, okay? So let's start off. I'm going to give you guys a reading journal cam so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I have these things that I've printed out. I found some of this stuff on Pinterest. I tried to make my own book bracket, but I'm gonna do this instead and then put my 5-star predictions here. So I'm just gonna cut this stuff out, and then I have like the little book pictures, and then I have some other just stuff I want to cut out and put in my journal. These pages are gonna be for my favorites, and then I have some other pages too for spreads. So I'll show you guys what it looks like, you know, at some point in the year when the journal is finished. But yeah, for right now we are just going to kind of work on it. That's my goal today, is to like finish or work on my reading journal, but I also really wanted to film this video, so we're doing both, and I just thought it'd be fun. A little disclaimer, I did see Stephanie Bookish do something similar to this, and I really liked that video, so I thought, why don't I just work on my reading journal while I talk to you guys. So yeah, thank you, Steph. Anyway, let's start with the big picture so far. I have read so far this year, as of today, 98 books. I know, I haven't made it to 100 yet. I do have to mention, I added one book today, and this is something I do that you may or may not agree with, but I am a children's librarian. I'm a youth specialist, so I read children's and YA literature, and I always have done this, but I'm reading a lot more children's, especially like picture books now, and sometimes I add them to my read list when I'm like reading for a project, or I'm like going through books to read, like trying to figure out what I want to use for story time or a program or something, or just when I find a book that I really think is cute and I want to read it. And today I picked up Aggie and the Ghost by Matthew Forsyth. And you guys, this book made me laugh out loud multiple times. It's a children's book, but it's so cute. You guys, I own Paco and the Drum by this author, and it's really, really adorable. I am definitely purchasing this book to add to my collection. I haven't added my children's books yet that I've owned, that are my childhood books. This is my childhood bookshelf right back here. If you didn't know, my grandpa made this for me, and my mom saved all of our childhood books. I'm going on a tangent right now, but I promise you guys are going to see them soon. I'm going to put them on the bookshelf, and then, you know, eventually once we have kids and stuff, we're going to add to the collection and all that good stuff. So anyway, I read that today and I added it to my list. So, you know, if you want to get like really critical about it, I haven't read like 98 adult full-length novels. But you know, a lot of us in the book space don't read full-length novels all the time. Like, we read other stuff like graphic novels and short story collections and novellas, and I feel like children's books count too. So Aggie and the Ghost, if you like children's books or you like really cute illustrations or something that's gonna make you laugh for this holiday season, please read this book. Okay, anyway, all of that is to say I have read 98 books, and I have counted some children's books, but I think that's fine. I think that's fine. My goal for this year is 100. It's September 4th, so I definitely don't think I'm gonna get to 200, because it's the busiest time of year for me right now. But I do think maybe not even 150. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I've already met my goal, so there's no pressure, which is great. Any shift in habits? I feel like for me, guys, I haven't even started doing whatever. Anyway, has there been, I don't know if I've noticed a shift in habits. Sorry, I'm concentrating. As far as like different genres that I'm reading, I definitely noticed that I'm DNFing more, which is great. That was one of my like original goals that I wanted to be able to do this year. So I'm really proud of myself for like being able to do that. I have also kind of figured out, I feel like, that I don't usually love contemporary romance unless there's like a really interesting plot or interesting characters. There are exceptions to this, like some of the books that I've just read or like recently read, or people like, you know, Allie Hazelwood usually really get me. But in general, I've just noticed that like any old like rom-com romance book usually doesn't do it for me. I have been enjoying recently, I've rated sci-fi books pretty highly, fantasy. Of course, I always love a good literary fiction. Let's see if this fits. Okay, score, it does, so that's awesome. So that's this page. I'm just gonna cut this. Definitely listening to more audiobooks this year, and that's just because I have a 45-minute commute to work both ways, so I listen to like an hour and a half of audiobooks a day, like on average, which is really great. That is something I feel like will help you become a better reader, especially if you have a commute, or like just, you know, if you live in a city or a high traffic area, or even if you like have to take public transit, or like even if you have a lot of traffic in your area, just put on an audiobook while you're on the way to work. It'll help you read more. You know, something that I think is interesting is that I haven't really been reading at a slower pace. I've like pretty much, you know, I actually think at this time last year, I was not reading as much. I was in a book slump, and I think there was a lot going on last year. And there's a lot going on this year too, but last year, you know, if you've seen some of my recent videos, you know what happened, but you know, my mom passed away, and I had gotten engaged right before that, and I had like before that just started Lexapro, and my partner had been away for 5 weeks, and then it was like wedding planning time, and you know, this year has been crazy too, but definitely like last year definitely was just something else, let me tell you. Okay, we need to cut off just a little bit more of this one. Okay, so there's those. Balancing reading with life, I feel like, is a lot easier when you're working part-time. I used to work full-time at the library, so again, that might be another reason why I'm able to read more as I'm planning my wedding as well. I don't work full-time. I do I am in grad school full-time though, and I did take classes this summer. So that, I mean, that hasn't really been difficult for me. I've always been a reader. Like, it's how I unwind. It's a hobby of mine I really enjoy. So I feel like as far as balancing life and reading, you know, if I need to put life first, I put life first. Like, I definitely don't feel like I need to put reading first. And sometimes I can procrastinate and it bothers me, but I think I just need to build better habits and be easier on myself, really. But those are just some of the like big picture things that I wanted to mention before we get into the rest of, you know, my updates. I feel like I'm definitely growing as a person and as a reader, and I feel like I'm still not there with like knowing exactly what books I'm gonna love. I read a lot of 3 stars, like, and I can't always predict exactly what I'm gonna love. I feel like that is a goal that I want to have for next year, is to be able to figure out like what I think I might love. But you know, that comes with age, it comes with just reading more. So I definitely don't feel a lot of pressure. I'm trying to just take pressure off myself. I definitely feel like I have been doing really well with that so far this year. All right, replacing this. Boom. Okay, I want to hit on some of my like standout books so far this year. I don't want to go over every single favorite that I've had, because I am gonna wrap that up at the end of the year for you, like what my standout book, like favorite books are for this year. But I want to like pick my most standout books for sure and talk to you about them, because I feel like that's important, and you really have no idea what I've been reading unless you follow me on Goodreads, and even in that case sometimes I don't always like keep up with it that well. Just gonna put this on there. I want to tell you my 5-star reads so far this year. I think that's important because at the end of the year, my favorites aren't always 5 stars. And all of my 5 stars, usually my 5 stars are all favorites, but like I'll save the good stuff for the end of the year. I do want to tell you what my 5 stars have been so far. No way there's only been 3. Are we serious? Kara, are you serious? No, she was telling me I've only had 3 5 stars, and they were all in January and February. That is absurd. So Aggie and the Ghost, I rated 5 stars. I just told you about that book. Are we serious? I did not have a single other 5-star except for The Hidden World of Gnomes. That is another really amazing picture book. Highly recommend. It's like very the illustration isn't similar, but it's like they're both like whimsical, fantastical. I really enjoyed that. And then another children's book, Head Full of Clouds, was another 5-star for me. I think the illustrations really got me with that one too. Oh, another children's book, Miss McDonald Has a Farm. That was really cute. It's a little twist on Old MacDonald Has a Farm. 2 more children's books. David Weissner, Flotsam and Tuesday. David Weissner is amazing. I hadn't read these 2 by him, but when I started working at the library where I work now, one of my coworkers was like, you need to read these. And I did, and they were amazing. So there's some children's books recommendations for you there. I have only had 3 stars, 3 5 stars this year. And I'm really disappointed about this. I am planning on doing a like video where I read until I get a 5-star, and I have some 5-star predictions that are actually, I'm literally working on this page in my journal right now. I feel like it might take me a little bit too long to tell you about all of them and like do it, but I think I can probably find them. these. Did I not? Did I not print the rest of my, yes I did. Yes I did. Sweet, well we can put them on here, duh. Okay, I actually have my 5-star predictions right here. So I'm gonna put them on this page. I might not glue them down yet, but I'll show you my 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. The Storied Life of AJ Fickery. Let's see what else. Oh, Slewfoot, A Certain Hunger, We Love You, Bunny, and Bunny is a 5-star, so I'm gonna reread that. That should be good. Lush. This is Rochelle Dowden Lord's debut novel. It sounds really good. It's about wine connoisseurs, like wine people, and they all go stay somewhere together. Catabasis by R.F. Kwong. This is, I hope this is 5 stars. I don't know. I have high hopes. Beartown by Frederick Backman. The Will of the Many by James Islington. That got a lot of great reviews last year. Barry Bounce in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. The Princess Bride by William Goldman. That's one of my favorite movies ever. It can't not be a 5-star. Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. And 11/22/63 by Stephen King. So these are my 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. Hopefully I can get to them and read a lot more 5 stars. So yeah, we'll glue those down a little bit. But my 3 5-stars so far this year have been A Psalm for the Wild Belts by Becky Chambers. It was just fabulous. I have never read anything like it. It's a sci-fi with a tea monk and a robot, and they both are just exploring the world together and what it means to be human, although the robot isn't human, but like he has some really great insights, and it was just so warm and touching and beautiful and well written, and I loved it. I just love the feeling it gave me. And my second 5-star read was Welcome to the Hunamdong Bookshop, and I loved this. I wasn't expecting this to be 5 stars. I don't think. I don't know if I was. I know Sid Bookworm gave it 5 stars, and so that gave me high hopes for it because I love everything she reads. Well, not everything, but I love most of what she reads, and I really liked it. Again, like the feeling it gave me, the way we talk about books in the book. I just love a book about books, like an atmospheric book about books, about people who love books and who are connecting with each other. And it was really like, it was about the bookshop, but it was also about how the bookshop was run and like the people who frequent the bookshop. And I just really, really enjoyed it. And then, what was the other one? Oh, All Fours by Miranda July. Y'all, something about this book, I don't know what it was. It was just so bingeable. Like, I read it so quickly. It was so weird and wacky. It's just basically about this woman who's going through menopause and like she's having a midlife crisis. And she she's supposed to go on a trip or something, and then she just goes and like checks into a hotel that's like in her town. And then she just like does weird shit, like for no reason. And like just following her thought process, being in her head and living in her world, you can like start to understand why she does some of the things that she does. And I just thought it was hilarious. Really well done, and the audiobook was great. So that wasn't my other 5-star read for this year. Okay, I had to take a little break for a second, but I am back now. Did I answer the question? So if you stay tuned until the end of this year, fingers crossed I'm still around. I'm planning on being, okay? But I'm gonna do, like I've done in the past, a 25 best books of 2025, like in order, and I'll tell you about them. If there's any honorable mentions. I'm very thorough with it, okay? But right now this is more of just a catch-up sesh. So I just want to I wanted to mention my 5 stars. I've had a few 4 stars. I've had many 3 stars. I think with, especially the 4 stars, like, it really solidifies over time whether it's a favorite of mine or not. So, you know, once we reach the end of the year, that it really gives me a good idea of, like, exactly what my favorite books are. But I will get into a few superlatives right now. So again, you guys can get a better idea of, like, what I've been reading, what I've been enjoying, what I want to talk to you guys about. I wish I could tell you about all of the books that I've read. Again, at the end of this year, I probably will, like, just do a little rundown of everything that I've read in some kind of way, so you guys know. But, anyway, I do want to talk about some of the books that have, like, stuck with me, like, so far, the most this year. And, you know, the book that has hands down stuck with me the most this year is The Eyes in the Impossible. And that, I think, mostly has to do with the fact that I'm in youth services now, because I'm recommending this book all of the time to young readers and families and, like, parents who want to read a book to their kids. And the audiobook for this was fantastic. I'm actually working on a list at work right now of great audiobook titles for road trips with your kid, or, you know, family road trips. And I don't know if this book is already on that list, but if it's not, it's gonna be because it was so good. And who is it? Ethan Hawke who narrates it, and he just, like, really embodies the characters very well. It's just a really, really sweet story. It's kind of akin to, like, Charlotte's Web kind of vibe. It follows some animal characters and their hijinks. They live in a park, and I just really liked it. I just really, really liked it. I think, you know, as this video goes on, I'm realizing I'm really liking books that remind me of my youth and kind of tap into the youthful side of me, which is funny because I'm only 23. It's not like I'm, like, you know, just missing the days of yore, but you know, the older I get, the more nostalgic I get for, like, the good old days, you know, like, oh, my life used to be so easy, and right now it's a little bit hard. So I just feel like books that give me that feeling, like, I would have loved this when I was a kid, just make me happy, like, make my inner child happy, and I think that's important. So anyway, The Eyes in the Impossible, hands down, a great book. I didn't give it 5 stars, I gave it 4. Because 5-star books, just, it's a feeling, like, that's all there is to it. And I wish there was a better way for me to describe it to you, but I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's that. Plus, I also just want to mention, and I want to throw in here, Sunrise on the Reaping. You guys, this book was amazing. It just reminded me of how much I love the Hunger Games and the Hunger Games franchise, and I don't love the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but just being in the world that Suzanne Collins has crafted. Again, it reminded me of my childhood because I read those books when I was a kid, and I just, like, it was so good. It was so good. So again, another book I did not give 5 stars, but I just feel like it's worth a mention to you guys. I need to make a space to put the 5-star reads area. We have to disperse these a little bit more. Anyway, I might flip the page so we can work on something else in a second. Where was I going? I want to mention a guilty pleasure of mine, and you might know where this is going. It surprised me, okay? And I mentioned earlier I don't really like cheesy rom-coms all that much, but I do really like bad romantasy, namely Fourth Wing, specifically the graphic audio productions. This summer I read Onyx Storm because I was waiting for the graphic audio versions to drop so I could listen to them all at once, and the second part came out like in June or July, so I had to wait this long ass time to read this book. And you know, I heard all of the ravings about it and everything, and I just have to say it's not well written, and I was confused like 75% of the time I was reading Onyx Storm. However, it is just like, I am ready for the next book. Like, it's just an entertaining time, and like whenever I finish an Empyrean novel, graphic novel, like there's just a void, and I don't understand why, because the books are not good, but like the graphic audios are good. And I've listened to a couple other graphic audio productions and they're fine, but just something about Fourth Wing, I don't know what it is. I just need you guys to know that about me. Okay, I don't think Fourth Wing is good, I just think it's entertaining, and I think a lot of us agree about that. But anyway, this is not my cross to bear. I've been saying that a lot recently, by the way. My cross to bear. What's up with that? Is it because I've been going back to church again with my grandpa? I don't know. I think my new favorite author so far this year has been, it might be Jen McKinley. Okay, we'll get to that, because I read one of her books and I have another one that I'm really excited about, and maybe another one later. I don't know, we'll see. But so far this year, it is Emily Austen. I read one book of hers last year, Interesting Facts About Space, and I enjoyed it. And then I read her other two books that she has out, which are Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, and We Could Be Rats. Is that what the book is called? I always get the title messed up. But anyway, I just love her writing style. It's kind of short and choppy a little bit, but just like slice of life, easy to read, easily bingeable, very relatable, and very character driven, not so much plot driven. There's a little bit of plot here and there, you know, more abstractly, but her characters are just really relatable and likable for me. I mean, well, they're not always likable, but like, you know, like in a way that like you look at a character and you're like, what are you doing? And then you're like, if I were in your shoes, I might do that too. Her books are all very similar. We Could Be Rats is about sisters. Interesting Facts About Space and Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead are very similar. Interesting Facts About Space reminded me a lot of Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine. So if you've never read Emily Austen and you liked that, like if you read it a long time ago, or recently, but I just love, okay? And she has a book coming out in 2026 about a librarian that I am really excited about. Speaking of books coming out soon, this is my page for my Libro arcs. I also have a page for, God, this is coming apart. How am I supposed to fix this? I wish I had like a stapler or something. Whatever. Where is it? Where are you? NetGalley. I have this NetGalley page for the NetGalley arcs that I have, and then I'm making a page for my Libro ALCs as well. So anyway, that's what this page is going to be. And then what is this? Oh, this is going to be this. These are going to be these spreads like this. They are a little small, but that's okay. We can work with that. So on these monthly spreads, I'm going to put a collage and then the books that I read, and then on the following pages it'll be my TBR and then the favorites of the month. So that is the plan. What's next? Okay, before I tell you what my most surprising book of the year was, I have to tell you about my letdown, my biggest letdown of the year. I have two. I've definitely read some books that I was excited for and anticipated that were just not exactly what I expected, and you know, I still really enjoyed them, or I was glad that I read them. And I'm not saying that this is not true about these next two books. I'm just saying they were the biggest letdowns for me that I've thought of so far this year. And that is Great Big Beautiful Life and Atmosphere. And that is because these are like literally the two of the most hyped books of the entire year. and also 2 books from authors that I have really enjoyed in the past, and I just didn't really click with them. Great Big Beautiful Life is, you know, I probably don't need to, I don't need to tell you guys about these books. I'm sure you know what they are. If you don't, you probably don't need to be, you probably need to like catch up a little bit. But anywho, well, I'm catching up with you right now. So anyway, I'm the one doing the catching up, okay? Anyway, Great Big Beautiful Life. It was definitely more literary than Emily Henry's past books, and by that I mean there was less plot, and I did not enjoy that, and I never really cared that much about her characters, so it just didn't hit for me, and that's super unfortunate because this book takes place in Georgia, and I live in Georgia, and it's supposed to be kind of like an Evelyn Hugo-y vibes, and I loved Evelyn Hugo. It just didn't hit. And speaking of Evelyn Hugo, you know, our next leading lady from Taylor Jenkins Reid, I think she did a good job with this book. It just is not up there with me, for me, like some of her other books are. I liked Carrie Soto more than I liked this book, and that's saying something because I did not like Carrie Soto as a character. I just thought this book was trying to do too many things, and it just didn't give enough time to develop all of them, especially when it came to the potential of having a story about a woman in space. I won't go on a tangent right now. I'll just leave it at, I just think there could have been more discovered in a historical fiction about women in space. And I did appreciate that the characters that it was a sapphic romance. I thought that was great. I don't know that we really went into all of the dangers of that at that time. And I wish there was a little bit more space. I am not gonna lie. I just wish there was a little bit more space. Anyway, yeah, I don't need to gripe about how the books should have been written. I just want you to know I was really hoping that I would love them, and you did not. So, here's hoping that my 5-star predictions for the rest of the year come true. Because I don't always have a great track record of predicting exactly what I'm going to love. That looks so cute. Oh my god. Hello! Okay. Now, the challenge is going to be to get the pages to turn, but that's fine. So, and then I think my most surprising read so far this year has been Summer Reading by Jim McKinley. There have been other reads that have surprised me in good and bad ways, but this is, you know, recency bias. I just read this book. It was so good, and it was good in a lot of different ways, and I just really, really liked that about this book. This is a rom-com that I really, really enjoyed. So, like, you know, to me, that just stands out and surprises me, right? Because of what I've said about rom-coms in this video. And, where is this? I did read this in a reading vlog that I'm working on right now, so you guys are going to see it soon. And I talk a little bit more about it in that video, so stay tuned again. I'm just teasing you guys for all of my videos plans that I have coming up, which there are a lot of them, and I'm excited about them. And I've said this before, but you guys, I really am excited about it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get my January page for this page. And then we're going to do the TBR, and I'm going to put this page here for the TBR, and we're going to use like the little vellum sheets. I need to trim this though. No, now I don't like how it's lopsided, Kara. Why would you do that? I usually have pretty good precision cutting skills, but I guess not when I'm filming a video. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay, I guess this is a good segue into what my current reading mood is, and that is, you know, definitely more fantasy, I think, coming up soon. I want to read more horror. I want to read, I'm kind of in a thriller mood right now, so I feel like it's going to be like thriller transitioning into horror. Looking at my TBR shelf right now, there's a few more romances I want to read before I feel like I'm romanced out. And then some thrillers, some horrors, some, whatchamacallit? Some like seasonal reads, like witchy, spooky reads, vampire reads. And then I want to read some 5-star. I want some 5 stars, okay? Again, if you want to know more about what I want to read this fall, I am working on a fall TBR video. Just saying. So, I feel like that is, I just am really desperately craving something cozy that is really gonna pull me in, whether that's cozy freaky or cozy cute. So, I don't know. And then, you know, I think I have plans to read The Princess Bride pretty soon too, and that's just like, you know, I am a huge fan of the film, so I just feel like that's going to be another read that really speaks to my inner child and makes me feel happy and fulfilled and all of those things. So, you know, I feel like, again, what I was saying about those kinds of reads, definitely want some more of that too. Oh, I have to mention, bro, I cannot believe I forgot to mention this. One of my favorite reads recently, again, not a 5-star, but one of my favorite recent reads has been The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and I do have plans to read One Dark Window this fall, hopefully. But this was such a good fantasy novel. Oh my god. And did I talk about it in a video? I feel like I did talk about it in a video. Probably. I feel like I did. But anyway, I won't keep blabbing too much. But The Night and the Moth, like, y'all, the people who are raving about this book are right. This book is, like, the atmosphere just, whew, it did something for me. And I can't even explain exactly what about it, but I just painted such a vivid picture in my mind from the get-go. And then the characters, like, the romance was fine. The magic system was awesome. And Bartholomew was, I would die for him. Actually, I would. So, oh, cute. Perfect. Let's put this down. Awesome. So I'm just going to keep going through my journal like this. Like I said, I gotta do that. So like I said, it's gonna have this like this, And then it's going to be a TBR page and a favorites page for each month in the journal. And I'm really liking how this is turning out so far. So, and then these pages, you know, I still have a lot of work I need to do on these pages, but it's probably gonna be really thick by the time we're done. So yeah, that is really it. That is a quick, hopefully, I don't know how long this video is, catch up, abridged catch up, I guess we'll say, on my 2025 reading life so far. I will be doing a full wrap up, best of 2025, all that good stuff, all that stuff I mentioned in this video. Please look forward to it. I am looking forward to it too. But for right now, I want you to tell me what has been your favorite book so far this year. What has stood out to you? What's your guilty pleasure been? I want to know it all. Just tell me. And I want to know what you guys think should be on my radar for the rest of this year. And maybe if you have any suggestions for 5-star reads, please let me know. My Goodreads, I think, is linked somewhere. I think it's going to be linked in my bio or the description box. But yeah, that is it for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope, you know, if you liked it, just let me know if you want me to do any more videos like this. I know this was kind of not the best. I'm not great at multitasking. We did get some stuff done. You know, we got some stuff done in here. And I'm also a big gesticulator, so I talk with my hands a lot, and they can't be too occupied. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I will see you next time in my next video. And if you've made it this far, leave some sort of leaf emoji. Yeah, okay. I never know how to end videos. I'm just like, never want to leave. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time.